Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're starting with at-tadrib al-thamin, the eighth exercise, and it says akmil. Akmil means to complete. It's a command verb asking you to complete. Let's see. The first one, it says fil matbakhi, in the kitchen. So we can say fil matbakhi. So we can say we've seen this kind of sentence before, right? It starts with a place and then it describes what's in that place, right? So we can say fil matbakhi ثلاجة. ثلاجة. Okay. In the kitchen there is a refrigerator, and we can also say furnun. We haven't had this word, but I think this word is useful. You should know furnun. So you can say في المطبخ ثلاجة وفرن. And you can also say موقد. Remember we had the word موقد وموقد. موقد. You don't have to say كهربائي, which means electric. Everybody will understand you're talking about stove. Now, then we have سلة مهملات. What is سلة مهملة? Is a trash can. في. Now you can mention any room, right? We can say في المطبخ. We can say في مطبخ. في المطبخ, in the kitchen. Next we have أدوات المطبخ here. So أدوات المطبخ here, it means utensils, right? It's a plural, so you say utensils. Utensils. Here, remember here it refers to the utensils. So in English we will say they. Okay, we will translate as they are. But in Arabic, remember, it's here because it's singular. Feminine is because we mentioned that few times. The plural of objects are treated as a singular female entity. Okay, but you will translate the utensils are. Then you can say mil'aqa, mil'aqa, and you can also say sikin, sikin. Okay, and you can also say shauka. Okay, shauka. Right now. Next, we have fi saqfi. Saqf is the roof, right? Fi saqfi, on the roof, you can say misbahun, a light, thuraya, chandelier. Okay, inshallah, these are easy. We have seen this kind of sentence before. Inshallah, you should be able to complete this exercise. And the last one, fi madkhalil bayt, in the entrance, you can mention min dada, table, bisat, carpet. Okay, now next tadrib, at tadrib التاسع, the ninth exercise. It says ajib. Ajib is to answer. It's also a command verb. It's asking you to answer. The first one, it says هل في حجرة النوم شفرة. So it's a question. What is shufra? Shufra is balcony, right? It's balcony. So it's basically asking, is there a balcony in the bedroom? Okay. Now, I'm not sure if they want you to answer this based on the text or not, but here we can say yes, naam, because the question is with hal, so we have to answer by naam or la, so we can say naam. Okay. Now, after naam, you can just simply copy the whole thing. You can just say fi hujrati naumi shufratun. Okay, then we have a complete sentence. طيب. The second one, ما أدوات التي في المطبخ. Okay, ما أدوات التي في المطبخ. What are the appliances in the kitchen? We had exactly same sentence. You should be able to answer that. You can just say what we had in the previous example. You can say في المطبخ ثلاجة فرن موقد. Okay, now third one is أين الموقد الكهربائي. So where is the? Here we have this one as a definite noun because the first one is definite with alif lam, and because the kahrabai, it is an adjective, we have to follow with definiteness. جيد. So it's asking where is the electric stove. You can say الموقد الكهربائي في المطبخ. You should be able to make this sentence without any problem, inshallah. The fourth one we have هل في المطبخ رف للأطباق. So here it's asking, is there في المطبخ, in the kitchen, رف, a rack, للأطباق, for the dishes. You can say نعم في المطبخ رف للأطباق. And the last one we have كم وجبة يتناولها بكر في اليوم. Okay, كم وجبة يتناولها بكر في اليوم. So كم وجبة, it means how many meals, right? وجبة is meal, and in English we say how many meals with plural. يتناول, remember يتناول means to take, okay, to take. So who's taking? It is in the present tense, right? With here, that means it's a he. So who's that he? We have the proper name because it has dhamma. So that means we know the bakr is the one who's doing this action. Okay. Now, so what happened is that something interesting happening here. It's something like that. Yatana walu bakrun. So yatanawalu bakrun. This verb is transitive. That means it needs an object. So he takes what? You have to say something. So you need an object. Okay, if you say al-ghada, al-ghada'a. Okay, now this is your object, right? That's why you have a fatha. What if you're not using a noun? You're trying to use a pronoun. So you want to say he or Bakr takes it. So we have the Bakr, the doer. Here's the verb. How do we say it? How do we use the pronoun? Okay, this is something inshallah we will be studying later, but here they are using it, so I have to explain to you. When you're trying to use pronoun as an object, you have to attach that pronoun with the verb. You understand? Inshallah, something that we will study later, but right now I just wanted to explain to you that this ha is same thing as here, which is here is the subject pronoun, ha is the object pronoun. Okay, so this ha is actually refers back to here. And why is the feminine? Why singular feminine? Because it's referring to what? Wajba, which is a singular feminine noun. Now it's a little bit complicated here, but hopefully you understand. Basically, this ha is object pronoun. In Arabic, object pronoun you have to attach with the verb. You have to attach with the verb. All right. Now, so basically, this ha is going back to wajiba. So how do we understand this? It is saying how many meals yatanawaluha bakrun, bakr takes it. Then we have fil in the day. Okay, fil the yom can mean today. It also can mean the day. Here, from the context, it would be the day. So how many meals bakr takes a day? That's how we would translate in English. Now, okay, for the answer, you can say bakrun yatanawalu. Here you can say thalatha wajabat. Right? Now we don't have to attach with the verb because we're using the object separately. Okay? Thalatha wajabat. All right? So bakrun yatanawalu thalatha wajabatin. Now you can complete by saying fil yom. Fil yomi. Okay? Now, so next تدريب التدريب العاشر, the 10th exercise. It says كون ست جمل مستعينا بالكلمات الآتية. Make, كون, to make 6 sentences مستعينا by help of الكلمات الآتية, the coming words. Now, so they give you a bunch of words. We have to make few sentences using these words, and they give you one مثال, one example. So it says Bakrun yaktubu fi hujratil qira'a. Okay, Bakrun is writing in the. Now we haven't seen this hujratul qira'a. It basically means qira'a means reading. Okay, reading. Hujratul qira'a means reading room. Okay, and we have a kasra here because of the fi. Now, so let's see if we can make another one. At-tabibu, the doctor. At-tabibu, we can say yafhasu uh, يفحص المريض. الطبيب يفحص المريض. Okay. الطبيب يفحص المريض. Now, so it means the doctor is examining the patient. The second one is fi baiti bakrin. Okay, this would be baiti bakrin because this is idafa, right? You cannot have tanwin here. Fi baiti bakrin, we can say what's in the house. I suppose we can say a big garden, right? حديقة كبيرة. حديقة كبيرة. Okay, and this is your adjective phrase. Now, baitu bakrin. Uh, now you can say qaribun. Where's mean? Qaribun mean masjid al haram. Okay, you can say qaribun mean masjid al haram. Qaribun mean, you have to say minal masjid al haram. Okay, qaribun minal masjid al haram. And the fourth one, now they're not giving us any word to start with, so we can probably say something. We can say souk, the market. So by yes, ba'id, and the market is far from what? You can say market is far from the masjid. That's fine. We can reuse those words. Okay. So you can say asuku, asuku ba'idun, ba'idun. What goes with ba'id? An, ba'idun an, anil masjid. Okay. The the market is far from the masjid. This word can be masculine or feminine. Okay, this is one of those special words that it can be treated both masculine and feminine. So here we're treating as masculine because we're saying ba'idun. If we want to treat this word as a feminine, what do we have to do? We have to change ba'idun into ba'idatun with tamarbuta. Both of them will be fine. Okay, and just letting you know, if you see this word is being used as a feminine, that's the reason. Now, the 5 and 6, inshallah, I think you can make two sentences from here. For example, you can say fi baiti bakrin thalathu hujuratin, right? You can say that fi baiti bakrin thalathu, thalathu what? Thalathu hujuratin. Okay, inshallah you can finish the rest. Next tadrib, we have a tadrib al-hadi ashara, which is the 11th exercise. It says kawin kalimat, make words. Okay, kawin kalimat. So looks like now they give you a lot of letters and you have to make words out of these letters. Should be interesting. So inshallah you should be able to do this thing. It might take time, that's fine. For example, you can say souk, right? You can say souk, souk. By the way, if you see somebody's writing sin like that, that's just a sin. Okay, it's the same thing as souk. Now souk, you can also make, you can make furun, although the book never used it, but we learned it, furun, furunun, furunun. Okay, and we can make naum, naum, which is sleep, naumun. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can find all of these words here. There are a lot of empty space. Inshallah you can try. The problem is that they're not giving you a lot of vowels, they're not giving you alif and ya. With alif and ya you can make a lot of more words. I'll give you alif, I'll give you alif and ya. Say, now we have a tadrib thani ashara, which is 12th exercise. And here they're talking about mufrad and jam'u mudhakkar. Mufrad means singular and jam' means plural. But here they're talking about very special type of plural. Jam'u mudhakkarin, and the whole thing is actually salim. You have to say jam'u mudhakkarin salim. What it means is that it's talking about masculine, masculine sound plural. Okay, few things to note. In Arabic language, plural starts from three or more. Remember, we have talked about this one. Anything of two we consider as dual, muthanna, something we have studied before, right? Remember ani, kitabani, we have kitab, which is singular, then we can say kitabani, which is dual. And what is the plural? Is kutub, kutubun. Now, this word is not sound masculine plural. Why? Because the original word, which was kitab, it is changed. We had kitab with alif here, we don't have the alif anymore, and we have changed the harakat. In that case, we don't consider it is as a sound plural anymore. It is a broken plural. Okay, so it's called broken plural. So what would be the sound plural? Sound plural is when your original word is intact. Okay, so when you have the original word is intact. For example, we have mudarrisun here. Mudarrisun, which means a teacher. Now, how do we make it into plural? We simply add waw and noon at the end. Mudarrisuna. Okay, mudarrisuna. And if you look carefully, you don't have to look carefully, you can see it. Mudarris, the word is still there, exactly the way it is, with the dhamma, fatha, shadda, all of these things are there. You understand? For example, we have jazzarun. And how do we make this word into plural? This word happens to be a sound plural. So we can say jazzaruna. Yes, jazzaruna. All right. So now, as you can see, the actual word is still there. Jazzar is there. The jazzar is there. Hammalun, we will say hammaluna. Right? And you can see that hammal, the word is there. Only thing we're doing is like wow and noon. It's similar to what we have done with the dual. Remember, for dual, we added alif and noon, and plural, we add wow and noon. Okay, so let's do one simple example so we can see the difference, right? So, for example, mudarris, mudarrisun is a singular. How do we make it into dual? Mudarrisani. Yes, you remember this? This is a dual. That means we're talking about two teachers. And as you can see, your original word is still there. The word is still there. Mudarrisani. And so how do we make it into plural? Something we just learned now. Mudarrisuna. Mudarrisuna. Okay, and your original word is still there. So that is what is called sound plural. But does it work all the time? Of course not. In English language, most of the plurals are sound. You simply add s or es. But in Arabic, most of the words are broken. So for example, the kitab we have seen, it is kutub. You cannot say kitabuna. That's not gonna work, right? For example, walad, waladun, which is a boy. How do you say boys? Waladuna? No, it's not a sound plural. You have to say awlad, awladun. Okay. At this point, honestly, it's something that you just have to learn. You have to know which one is sound, which one is not sound plural. Something that you have to learn in a pair. All right. So you say mudarrisun, learn as mudarrisuna. Okay. Then you learn jazzarun, you say jazzaruna. But I'll tell you something. The most of the professions, like the job titles, the professions, this kind of words usually will be in sound plural. For example, mudifun, mudifuna, mudifuna. You understand? Tayyar, which is a pilot, you can say tayyaruna. Inshallah, we'll see a lot more examples, but you have to, at this point, memorize the plural in a pair. Okay? Now, for example, you might think, what about tabib? We have tabib. Tabib is also a profession, right? Do we say tabibuna? Well, not really. It has a broken plural. So you have to say atibba, atibba'u. You cannot guess the plural at this point. Inshallah, as you learn more and more, you will be able to guess some of this plural, but it's something that you have to memorize in a pair right now. Understand? Another one I'll give you, talib, something that we know, talibun, which is a student. This one is also broken plural. You have to say tullab. Okay, tullabun. It's not going to be talibuna. But for example, other words like Muslim, Muslimun, which is a Muslim, right? The plural would be Muslimuna, which is a sound plural. So at this point, I will only suggest that you learn the plural, the singular and the plural side by side. And remember what I said, don't worry about the dual. Dual is extremely easy. You can add alif and noon in any word you want. That's not the problem. The problem is in Arabic language is usually with the plural because there are lots of broken plural. Most of the word has a broken plural. And for the beginners, it's almost like learning another word. So something that, inshallah, I think if you memorize them in a pair, inshallah, it will be helpful. جيد. Next تدريب we have التدريب الثالث عشرة, the 13th exercise. Now we have أنا أنت. It looks like we have to do something, right? So أنا بكر. أنا بكر means I am Bakr. I'm not too sure what we have to do because this is a complete sentence. There's nothing else we have to say. أنا بكر, I'm a Bakr. That's complete sentence. But the next one, أنا ضابط, I am an officer. في, here we can say في المطار. Okay, في المطار. What is مطار? مطار is airport. Next one, أنا طبيب في, I'm a doctor. في العيادة. في العيادة. Okay, in the clinic. Okay, and the next one we have أنا مدرس في المدرسة. This one, inshallah, you should be able to complete. We're not 100% sure what they want, but for example, here it says أنا مضيف. I'm a host. It's a complete sentence. You don't have to do anything else, but you can add an adjective here. You can say I'm a new host. You can say أنا مضيف جديد. Okay, جديد. Okay, that will work. Okay. The next one is أنت. We have أنت تقرأ. So they're using a verb. Okay. So remember, when you say a verb, you have to look at the first letter. This one is a present tense and it's starting with ta. What did we say? Present tense verb, if it starts with ya, it refers to he, third person singular. It starts with ta, it can be she or it can be you, masculine. Because the context is very clear, it's saying anta, so we know anta is a you, masculine. So we know this ta is referring to you, masculine. So anta taqra'u, you're reading. This verb needs an object. It is a transitive verb. So you have to say something. You're reading what? So you have to say أنت تقرأ الكتاب. You can say الكتاب. الكتاب. Now, what do we put in the ba here? We know this is an object, so we have to put a fatha. أنت تقرأ الكتاب. Now, you can also say, for example, أنت مدرس. أنت مدرس. مدرس. Okay. Or أنت طالب. أنت طالب في المدرسة. Okay, you're a student in the school, right? Inshallah, you should be able to do the rest. We can also use one more verb. For example, ta'kulu anta. Ta'kulu, you're eating. We're using ta because of the anta. Anta ta'kulu. Now, this is also what? Transitive verb. So you need something. We can say at-tufaha. At-tufaha. You're eating apples. Now, next one we have anti. Anti is you for feminine. Yes, anti you for feminine. Anti mumarredatun. You are a nurse. Okay, you cannot say anti mumarred because the word is mumarred, which means nurse, but that means a male nurse. Here you have to say mumarreda with ta marbuta because you're referring to a female. Likewise, you will say mudarrisatun. Mudarrisatun. Yes, you have to add this ta marbuta. Now, We won't be able to use the verb here because we haven't talked about feminine second person verb form. It's a little bit different than what we studied so far. So I'll leave that one until when we get these verbs. Okay. But you should be able to make a simple nominative sentence, right? For example, you can say you are new students, anti batun. Okay. batun jadidatun. Okay. You see, I have to make the adjective match with the noun. Now, inshallah, you should be able to make a few more sentences. Nahnu. Nahnu is what we. So now we have a plural. That's why you see we are using plural word. Mudarris is the singular, mudarrisuna is the plural. Another word for mudarris is muallim, muallimun. Okay, what is the plural for muallim? It's also one of your sound plural. So you add waw and noon and you have muallimuna, muallimuna, muallimuna. Okay, so nahnu muallimuna. How do we say we're student? I just gave you a plural for the students. It's not going to be your sound plural. It will be broken plural. So we say nahnu tullab. Nahnu tullabun. Okay, inshallah, you should be able to finish the rest. Uh, and then we have at-tadrib al-rabi ashara, the 12th exercise. It says ikra waktub, read and write. It says بكر يجلس على المقعد ويقرأ في المجلات والجرائد. وراء بكر مكتب كبير وعلى المكتب كتب كثيرة. Okay, مرة أخرى, one more time. بكر يجلس على المقعد ويقرأ في المجلات والجرائد. وراء بكر مكتب كبير وعلى المكتب كتب كثيرة. At this point, you should understand everything what's happening here, from all the words as well as the translation as well as the grammar. All of the structures, words, and the grammar, everything we have studied. So let me quickly go through this text. I'm not going to spend too much time. Bakrun yajlisu. Okay, this is a verb starting with ya, so it's a present tense verb, and it is talking about third person singular, he, and it's referring to what? Bakr here, right? Because it has dhamma. So it's the subject. Bakrun yajlisu. Bakr is sitting ala al-maq'ad, the seat. And we have a kasra because of harful jar preposition. Wa yaqra'u, it's still talking about present tense, and he, because it's going back to Bakr, right? Wa yaqra'u, and he is reading fil majallati. It has kasra because of harful jar fi. Majalla is magazines, wal jara'id, and the newspaper. You might be wondering, why do we have fi? Because when you say fi, fil majallati, it sounds like he is reading in the magazine. Yes, that's true. We can remove the fi and make these words as a direct object of the verb yaqra'u. At that case, we have to make what? These words into fatha. Now, the problem is with these words, the book doesn't want to confuse you because these words cannot take fatha. Okay, so it for a different reason. Inshallah, the book will explain to you why it cannot take fatha. So, inshallah, at that time, I'll explain. But the proper translation would be he's reading the magazines and the newspaper. You don't have to translate the fee. It's not like he's reading in the magazine and the newspapers. Now, and we have wara'a bakrin. Wara'a is behind, right? Behind bakar. What is behind bakar? Maktabun kabir, a big desk. Big desk, right? It's an adjective, right? Everything is matching. Okay, this is indefinite, this is indefinite, masculine, masculine, everything's matching. And we have ala al-maktabi, on the desk, kutubun kathiratun. Kutub is what? Kutub is books. And kathira is many, which is adjective to the books. Now, what's going on? This is an adjective. Why isn't it matching the gender? We have tamarbuta here. This one looks like a masculine word. We have mentioned this one few times. When we have object plural, we consider that word as a feminine singular entity. Okay, that's why we have to use Ta marbuta we have to treat as a feminine word. Now, I think this text was a good review of lots of rules that we had so far. I hope you understand everything, and you should read it again and write it a few times and make sure you understand everything what's going on with this text. I think we have reached end of this lesson. I will see you in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.